Hey there, adventure friends.
Hola!
So we're back from Ciudad, Perdida, the Lost City Trek. And something that we've been getting comments about is, what the heck do you actually bring and what do you wear when you go on the Ciudad, Perdida, Lost City Trek in Santa Marta, Colombia?
Yeah, so we're gonna share with you what we took, what was a good idea, and what wasn't such a good idea to pack.
Or even what we shouldn't have packed, because like some of the stuff, it seemed like a good idea and we wore it and we were all like, oh, bummer.
Wasn't the right thing.
This was not the right thing at all. And so we want to kind of pull back the curtains and show you exactly what we bring so that you are prepared whenever you come on the Ciudad Perdida trek, all right?
Yeah!
So let's start with you.
Okay, so this is my pack. This is quite heavy. If you want to see like how big it is on my body, it is quite heavy. So what I have here is my hat, which I ended up using every single day. So having it on my pack with a carabiner was super duper helpful. Something I learned throughout the trip that was also very helpful, to have a hair elastic with a bobby pin attached to it. And then what I did was just put it on my strap, because my bag is not a very organized bag. I realized on the trip, it literally is a bottomless pit with only one zip compartment. Total pain in the butt, so I was really grateful that I had so many packing cubes. I also carried 2 of these Clean Canteen water bottles along with the GoPro, but we don't really know where it is right now. I think it's charging.
So this pack that she has is by REI Co-op out of Austin, Texas. Mm-hmm. It's your basic stuff sack style. It's slightly water resistant, but it is not waterproof, so keep that in mind. And
it's a pain in the butt. I just gotta be honest. So I also brought my passport in this nice C2 Summit pack. None of the stuff that we're talking about is sponsored at all, but if you want the links for any of them, we will make sure that you can get those in the description.
And if you use any of those links, we may make a small commission because we are affiliated with quite a bit of these companies, but it's at no extra cost to you, and in most cases, you'll probably get a discount.
Mm-hmm. Also, I brought my cell phone. I turned it off for the entire trip, so it was a brick essentially in my bag.
Because there is 0 cell reception throughout the entire trek, even before you get there from the main road.
Yeah. So then I had this little case, which I have a little lock cable. I didn't end up using it because Brian had one, and one was enough for us to tie our stuff up at night. Flashlight, this was super handy, and it's got like a nice little thing so you could attach it to your clothes, and an extra battery, which was dead weight also, and then a really cool bracelet I got from the Kogies.
Awesome.
All right, so this bag originally had my underwear in it and like bras and stuff like that, bathing suit. But in the end, I thought, oh, it would be nice to rearrange my bag and have a bag of stuff that I can just like quick grab because my bag is so unorganized. So what I had in there was my brush, wallet with a couple cards and some cash, nail file. This sounds like a total diva move, but it was actually really handy because my feet got beat up so bad, and I forgot, actually, I didn't bring toenail clippers because I was like, they're kind of heavy. I just clip my toenails, I'm gonna be fine. You need toenail clippers.
We should have brought them.
We totally should have had them to doctor up like gross skin dangling off my blistered feet and just like clean up toenails that were like catching in shoes, and feet are gross, but yeah. So this came in handy to just like help the feet. Bug spray. This bug spray was garbage to us. We ended up having a different bug spray, which we're gonna show you. Do you wanna show them?
Yeah, we can show them.
While we're talking about it. This bug spray is amazing. You don't inhale it like the spray stuff.
So you can buy this here in Colombia. It's called No Pix, and there's what it looks like. We'll include a link to the company potentially in the description. But basically, it is bar style, and all you do is get your skin wet, and then you rub a little bit of this on your skin. It produces this foamy lather, and then that dries nearly instantly.
Yeah.
And it produces like a mask so that the bugs can't even get to you, so you don't even get harassed by them, which is nice.
Yeah, and if you need to spread it around, you can just simply like wet your hands and then rub it, and it's gonna look kind of thick for a second, but it will absorb into your skin, or not really absorb into your skin, but make a layer on your skin.
It's like beeswax almost. That's what it kind of feels like.
We
but a little
hardly got
looser.
bothered at all, which was great. I think we walked out of there with like maybe 4 total mosquito bites. So that was cool. Little tube of sunscreen. I definitely use that on my face. This was a dead weight. I use this in my hair. It's just like powder to give me volume. Diva. Sunglasses. Didn't even really use them at all. I used them a bit on the first day, but found the hat was just better. When your face is sweating, your glasses are just like sagging down your face, and it's no bueno. Use a hat instead. I also brought a whole bunch of bobby pins and an extra elastic. Didn't need it. I brought headphones in this cute little heavy headphone case. Didn't even use it. Probably could have used it at night, a couple of the nights. There was like a guy throwing up his guts, and that was really loud for hours.
And then there was the old freight train.
Yeah, this guy was snoring.
And he was like a lumberjack, I think, because he was like sawing down every tree in the forest with his snores.
Yeah, so I could have used those. Didn't use them just because, like, in the jungle at night, I didn't want to get out of bed to dig through this terrible backpack. Blistex, I used that a couple times on my lips. This hair clip, didn't use it. So my little quick grab case.
As you notice, as Erin goes through this bag, every single thing is in little stuff cubes, packing cubes. Originally we were thinking, you know what, let's save the weight. It's only a few ounces, but what we found is that if you've got everything just stacked in there versus having it compartmentalized into packing cubes, it's a lot easier to pull out one cube and you know what's in that cube and get to the right cube that you need versus just having a bunch of socks and underwear and t-shirts like thrown together.
Yep. Something else that came really in handy, I brought 3 Ziploc bags with an elastic. I used 2 of the Ziploc bags and 1 of the elastics. Came super in handy. I brought this packing cube with my flip-flops in it, which came in handy big time to keep those dirty flops separate from everything else. And the toiletry kit. This thing is a brick, and there's a lot in it that I didn't need. It's even hard to open. Okay. So, shampoo, conditioner, no picks. We probably just could have brought one of these mosquito things to share between the 2 of us because they're heavy, and we really just shared one of them most of the time.
Yeah, but we had no idea. We had never used it before, and the guy at the little tienda said you're probably going to want 1 per person for the trek. I guess it really depends on how much you put on, but I would suggest probably 1 per person, but we probably used half a bar each in 4 days.
Yeah, so if you're traveling with someone, you definitely could share it. Deodorant, that was a must. This, I use coconut oil to remove my makeup, which brings me to this useless pouch. I decided that it was a good idea to bring another bobby pin, randomly an eyebrow pencil, liquid eyeliner, eyebrow stuff to like keep your eyebrows in place and waterproof, a pencil eyeliner, and waterproof mascara. The only thing that I really needed, actually only couple of things that I used, was the waterproof mascara. I only reapplied it, I think, twice in 4 days, and which is probably kind of gross, I know, because I didn't wash it. But I also used the eyebrow pencil a couple times. None of the makeup was necessary, but I just have a little bit of diva still in me. I can't help it. A pick. I didn't use it. A razor. The showers are cold, so it's hard to shave your legs. Don't bother shaving. Tongue scraper. I love this. I will recommend this beautiful copper tongue scraper to anyone on the planet who wants to have a beautiful tasting mouth. This will keep you super fresh.
It does. It's really nice.
It's so nice. Instant bad morning breath, gone.
Gone.
Yeah.
Bye.
Like you almost don't need to brush your teeth, but just do it because
It's nice.
You need to brush your teeth.
Should brush your teeth.
This fold out toothbrush, and it came with a toothpaste. That was great. You need that. I also brought a little compact mirror. I did use this a couple times on the days when I was a bit of a diva and put makeup on. So if you don't bring makeup, you probably don't need a compact mirror. Earphones, never use, or earplugs.
Earplugs.
Never used these. Should have had them in an easy place to grab.
Yeah.
Tweezers and a few Q-tips. I didn't use any of those.
However, I think tweezers are a great idea because if you end up getting a splinter or something embedded in your hand, let's say you hit and fell on something, or you scraped and you need to pull out dirt, tweezers are great. And then also those toenail clippers, definitely. We're going to re-recommend those.
Re-recommend toenail clippers, 100%. Yeah, and we're going to go through the first aid kit. You're right. Cool. Rain pouch or rain cover.
Rain cover.
Rain cover, rain fly for the outside of my bag. Didn't rain, didn't need it. It's probably a good idea because you don't know.
You don't know. And they
know.
couldn't tell us.
They couldn't
tell us. So we went to Ciudad Perdida in March. What was it? March 17th through the 20th. That was the art trek of 2019.
Yeah.
And so this was considered the dry season, and it wasn't raining much. Like, I think it rained one night while we were sleeping for a short amount of time. The ground was a little wet the next morning. But if it does rain there, it's in the jungle. So jungles rain a lot, even during dry seasons. It's good to have a pack cover of some kind because if your pack gets soaked and you've got stuff that can't get wet in there, then you're gonna be up a creek without a paddle and you're gonna be wishing you had a rain fly. They don't weigh that much and they're designed to snug up around your pack really nicely to shed that water. So even though it does take up a little bit of room, it compresses real nicely. It's totally worth, it's kind of like you've got a fire extinguisher in your kitchen, but you don't ever plan on having a fire, right? But you have it.
Just in case.
Yeah.
Just in case. I've got this little stuff sack. This also had the GoPro cable in it. My phone was a brick, remember? So you don't need this. I brought a little eyeglasses wipe. I used this a couple times to wipe off the GoPro, but Brian had one also for the lens of the big camera.
Yeah.
So we really only needed one. All right. This bag, I put my swimsuits in it. Yeah, you heard me, swimsuits plural. I brought 2 different swimsuit bottoms and a bikini top. You only need one, don't be a diva.
Hashtag don't be a diva.
That's like pretty much the theme of my bag because it was heavy. It was so heavy. There were moments where I was like, oh, that extra swimsuit and that coconut oil and that extra washcloth. I only used one. Most of the times I didn't even use it because there's a lineup and you're just like, I gotta get out of here quick and washcloth. And then this towel and the stuff set.
So the towel is a super fast drying towel. Anything that is fast drying is a plus. Like if the brand says, hey, this is fast drying, take it, because at night when you think that you're going to be drying something like maybe a t-shirt out on the clothesline, because they've got clotheslines throughout all the different camps, it's the jungle and it's super humid. So you're gonna put something on the line that you've wrung out, you've washed maybe in the shower or something, and you put it on the line and it feels pretty dry, it's getting close. The next morning, it is wetter than when you put it on the line, which is completely hilarious in a kind of a sobbing sort of way.
What's that called? Like ironic.
It's definitely ironic.
It's ironic.
Yeah.
Okay, the final pouch. So this is my clothes, I had 5 pairs of socks. Only 1 pair of ankle socks I didn't end up wearing. I think I might have worn them to bed actually once, but you don't really need that many. It was just 1 for every day. Sports bra. The bra that I'm wearing, I wore to bed in the evenings around the camp because you don't want to wear a dirty, sweaty bra for hours or into the night. And then I have 6 pair of underwear. I wore everything in this side of the pouch. And then the Ziploc bags, that's where the Ziploc bags came in handy. I put all my dirty underwear, dirty socks, things that I wasn't gonna wear again in a Ziploc bag at the bottom of my pack. Clothes. Only 1 regret. Yeah. Actually, maybe 2 small regrets with the clothes. I've got a long sleeve athletic shirt, a long pair of yoga pants. Right before we left, I gave Brian 1 of my other pairs of yoga pants. It would have been nice to have 1 to wear when we went up to Ciudad, Perdida, and we got kind of dirty up there, and then have another pair for just bedtime.
Now, when she says that she gave me a pair of yoga pants, that doesn't mean that I was wearing them. She gave me the pair of yoga pants to put in my luggage that we were storing at Expo Tours offices.
That came out funny, didn't it?
Yeah, but I would try them on probably someday.
They might look cute on them. Okay, I got 2 pairs of shorts. Okay, so these things I wore. 2 pairs of athletic shorts. The heavier material pair I didn't wear, even though it kind of looks like I did. Other clothes must have rubbed off on them. These athletic shorts, they're Lulu's, I think. Yeah. I wore these all the time, and they have a little zipper in the back, so you can carry stuff in there if you want. I wore the beep tee at bedtime. That was really nice to have and to hang out at the camp. Our other beep tank top. I love this tank for most things, but it was a little bit heavy for this trip. This is a lighter cotton tank. I could have probably just worn, I did wear this.
You did.
Almost every day except for the one that I wore the beep tank.
What's great about this one is that it's got this nice charcoal gray color, and so it never looks dirty.
People thought I had a new outfit on every day. I was like, nope.
So that's a hot tip right there. If you've got something that's not a bright color, something that's not white, something that looks dirty, you don't want something that can, whenever it is dirty, it's like, oh, that's dirty. You want something that's more natural colors, neutral colors, or darker colors, because whenever it gets dirty, people can't tell that it's actually dirty unless they're close enough to you to smell you.
All right, so that's it for my pack. I hope that helps you make some smart decisions while you're packing for Ciudad Perdida, because honestly, you want to keep your pack as light as possible.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, and the last thing, these are the shoes I wear on my feet. They're Chaco. They're water shoes. They were kind of comfortable. My foot felt like it had enough room and stuff. But there were a few problems. My toes got totally mangled by the end of it. These straps on the outside, in a couple spots, they ended up rubbing. So not the best shoes. I thought they'd be great because they're quick dry water shoes, but they weren't.
They were rubbed pretty bad.
They were really bad, especially under my toe pads. My toes are totally raw underneath in a couple of spots, and a couple of my toenails I'm gonna lose for sure. They look like witch fingers.
Ah.
So that's that.
My shoes, on the other hand, I have the Merrill. They're just super lightweight shoes. They're trail running shoes, so they were pretty comfortable, super lightweight. They are fast drying, though they're not proclaimed to be waterproof or water resistant or anything like that. The tread was aggressive enough to be able to grip the trail pretty nicely, and I really liked that they were lightweight. So I really don't like wearing hiking boots, even though that they recommended that. Although I would have enjoyed the ankle support with those because my ankles were getting so tired on the trek. It's uphill both ways because you're going up and down the Sierra Nevada mountain range in Santa Marta.
Yeah.
So those are the ones I wore. No regrets on them. They were pretty freaking solid and I had no problems at all with them. All right, so here is my pack that I took. It is a Camelback, and I've got no idea how many liters it is. I think it's probably close to like 22 liters or so. It's a solid pack. I think it might have been a little bit small for this trip by just like maybe an inch or two. I wish it was just a little bit bigger, and you'll see why here in a second. Okay, so I decided to go with Camelback because one, I had it, and it's a great day pack. It's super comfortable to wear most of the time. Whenever you're not packing it down for a trip like this, it doesn't have
4 days.
For 4 days, it doesn't have the proper waist strap for using a waist strap as it's meant to be for weight distribution. But I did like that it had the integrated water tank, I guess you want to call it. It's just the Camelback. It's got the little bite tab there with a little flow valve. I love that because it made it hands-free. I always had my water available to me right on my shoulder. It was awesome. Moving to the outside of the pack, there's all sorts of different attachment points. I love that because I would attach the hat to it whenever I wasn't wearing it because I wanted it to be able to dry out during the hikes whenever it went cloudy overhead. This hat that I took is a Tilly airflow hat. This thing is amazing, super fast drying, super lightweight, and they've got such a great warranty on it. So if you've never had a Tilly hat, they're super comfortable.
And they're very handsome on, very jungly.
Yes.
Perfect for a jungle adventure.
Yeah. So on the outside of this, the Camelback bladder goes inside the back area. So that was real convenient because it takes that space and puts it in the back. So it's closer to your body. On the outside, there's 2 water bottle pouches or gear pouches. In this one here, I actually put the Jobby 5K tripod in when we weren't using it, and it looks like this. This is the actual rig that we took. We've got the Rode Video Micro, the Canon 80D, and the Jobby tripod to go on the trip with us. We didn't use the lens that we have on here, the 10 to 18. We actually used the 18 to 135. That way we could still do vlogs and we can also use it as a telephoto lens. I wish that we could have taken the 10 to 18 because it's just so much wider and it could have captured so much more. But that's the rig that I carried the whole time.
It looked brutal from my angle that he was carrying that. Like, tell them how you had it.
So this screw gate carabiner right here, whenever I wasn't filming, I had the camera strap hooked into here so the camera would hold right here and I would kind of hold it propped here. I think we might have some B-roll.
Yeah, we'll play some B-roll of that now.
And that's what it looks like whenever it's on me, but we're using it right now, so obviously I can't have it on.
But he was holding it, and like for balance purposes, like I need both arms, like if I'm like wobbling on rocks and stuff, and Brian was like just like stealth with the thing, and it looked awkward. Like I wouldn't have wanted to carry it like that.
Well, my shoulder did get tired after a while, and I would switch it between the 2 D-rings on the shoulders back and forth. On the outside of the other side, the no picks that we talked about, put this stuff in its own little Ziploc bag with nothing else because the container gets super soapy, so to speak.
Waxy.
And it's, kind of waxy, so it's nice to have its own container for that. Also in there, this, this insect repellent, it's the Coleman 30% DEET. We didn't use it. I think we used it once, but I think the no picks did such a great job. I think I got 1 bug bite on each leg. Other than that, nothing. And they weren't even mosquitoes. They were like the big flies, like horse fly, doctor fly things. Yeah. And then also, I've got some sunscreen that I got here in Colombia. Whatever sunscreen you want, just have a little tube of it. I used it one time. It was overcast, it was sunny, there was shade. It was like the perfect amount of sun that I never really got burnt.
Yeah.
But got a killer tan at the same time.
Killer tan. If you're traveling with your adventure partner though, you only need one sunscreen.
Yeah.
You don't need to take both.
Yeah. The last thing that I kept in this outside compartment is a cable and one lock. So what I did was I was able to put the zippers on the same side and then put the lock between the zippers and then the cable to like a post or a bed or something like that. And then her bag also went through the cable part. We'd string it through her shoulder straps on her bag. Now keep in mind, a lot of shoulder straps you can actually completely undo from this area here. And so on her bag, she actually has
It's just a drawstring. Oh.
So see right here, if someone just pulls this out, they could pull it directly through there. And so I would actually put the lock through this area, so they would have to destroy this in order to get through it. It's just an ounce of prevention. It keeps honest people honest.
Yeah. And that's actually another thing about my bag. We couldn't properly lock it. So all my valuables I put in Brian's bag at night. So a bag with a proper zipper system is way better. You don't want to be paranoid about people stealing your stuff, but I don't know, I think it's smart.
It's
Especially
totally
if you're
smart.
carrying gear like we were.
So last thing on the exterior of the bag, I really enjoyed this bag because it had a sternum strap. If you've never had a bag with a sternum strap or don't know what it is, basically when you get sweaty, the shoulder straps start to slide down. The sternum strap you can cinch up and it pulls the shoulder strap further in on your shoulder, making it more comfortable on your shoulders. Now the problem with a backpack that you only have shoulder straps is all the weight is pulling down on your traps and it's just pulling and pulling, which is why a waist strap is important. Now, this isn't necessarily the most heavy duty waist strap for weight distribution because you want it to sit high up on your waist and sit down on your hip bones. This one has no strap pads at all. So it was kind of digging in at times, but I gotta tell you, I went between having all the weight on my shoulders to having it on my hips and just going back and forth by tightening and loosening straps on the fly, and it made it more bearable, more comfortable. So that's the exterior of the bag. It worked really, really well. And I have no complaints about this bag, really. It did pretty good.
I was a little jelly of his bag.
So on the top here, I've got an external pocket that is lined. It's got a soft fabric here. So if you take your sunnies, like I have my sunnies and I would put them in here, they're not gonna get scratched up on a zipper or something like that. So that's what that's designed for. I've got a little stuff sack here that I would keep my earbuds in, my headphone buds. Never used them, absolutely never used them. So I don't know if I'd take them again, I might. They don't weigh that much. And I did take the phone, so just like Erin was talking about.
We did see people listening to music and stuff, but for me, I just didn't have any good pockets to put a heavy phone in. So it depends.
Yeah. Totally depends. This here is an SD card wallet. Basically, it's just a Velcro pouch that has little spots where you could put SD cards, see lined on the top. This way you could keep them organized for empty SD cards, and then ones that you used you could put on their own rows and identify them somehow. That way you don't accidentally erase them. I highly recommend having a SD card pouch because it'll keep your SD card life totally sane so that you're not losing track of, oh, which ones do I need to grab? So that was totally helpful. Definitely recommend. So that's it that I had in the top pouch. I also carried a little money wallet just like Erin's, and I would keep that in here also just in case we needed to buy some water bottles along our journey. It was easy to grab and I didn't have to go into any of the bigger pockets. All right, so starting on the front compartment, this is all the tech gizmos and gadgets that I needed to access pretty quickly. I would put into this pocket here along with other things. I've got backup batteries as well as the same flashlight that Erin has. We both have, it's the Streamlight ProTac 1L 1AA. So it only takes one AA battery. It's got high flashing and low beam. So you, depending on what you need to illuminate, or if you need to, you know, flash someone repeatedly, it's got all those settings. Love the flashlight because it's super lightweight, and it's got a clip that's a belt clip and then also a cap clip. So you could put it on the brim of your cap and shine it. Like if you've got a baseball cap on, it'll shine forward. If you have a Tilly hat, it's too heavy and it'll actually shine down towards your feet. So that's super nice. Or you can clip it to your shirt. Like if you go to the restroom at night. Yeah, clip it to your shirt, and then it shines down and it illuminates everything around you.
It's nice to like quick flash the toilet and make sure that flash the toilet.
Use that information as you wish. We're all adults here, right? Unless the kids are watching.
Everybody poops.
Exactly. Toothbrush, same toothbrush kit that Erin has. We've just found it at the grocery store.
They're great.
Yeah, absolutely great. Earplugs, I should have worn these those nights when the Vomiter and the freight train were just going full steam ahead. But didn't use them. But they're super lightweight, so I totally advise getting them.
They're good.
This one was one of those things I was like, should I, shouldn't I? I am so glad I did. This here is solution for cleaning the lens of your cameras. You can clean your lens with water, but if you get any dirt and stuff on there that smears, this actually breaks the dirt down and removes it from the lens, versus water might just smear it and it'll take a lot longer to clean. And then you run the risk of having watermarks on your lens because there's a lot of minerals in water. Also, a super fine microfiber lens cloth, dedicated to only cleaning the lens. Don't clean anything else but the lens with this. And if you have mud on your lens, clean it with another cloth first, like your camp towel, like Erin showed you. You'll see mine here in a second. But clean the big stuff off first, and this is like last step.
The micro
stuff. So I kept that in its own little baggie together to keep the dust and dirt off of it and squeeze the air out of it, so it packed away super nicely. Loved it. Battery pack. This is an Anchor. It's like a 22,000. I think it's 20,001.
It kind of feels like an Anchor too.
It is an Anchor. It's the Anchor Power Cord 20,100. This was great. It charged the GoPro, and it could charge an iPhone 7 Plus 7 times. So although it is a little bit big, like it's bigger than my hand and kind of heavy, I feel it's totally worth it because there was not very much power. There was power like once a day that we would run into, and that GoPro needed to be charged a little bit more than that sometimes.
And sometimes the outlets are busy because there's a lot of people. So
yeah, there was like 17 people on our trek, and then there was other companies also doing that.
Yeah. Maybe about 50 people max at a camp when we went in March because it was low season.
Yeah.
Which is a nice time to go.
So inside this compartment, there's another zippered compartment that actually has the, a place to keep a key if you had one. But I kept my passport in this waterproof phone case. Totally worth it. So kept passport and then also immunization records because yellow fever is advised to have the yellow fever vaccine. And if you don't have it, the Red Cross in Santa Marta offers it for like, what was it, 27 bucks or something like that. Yeah. Super cheap. Moving further into that front compartment, this is the medical kit that I carried.
We used this more than we thought we would.
Yeah. So we've got a watertight, it's an ultralight medical kit. And basically it just has Band-Aids, some antiseptic towelettes. We always carry a large safety pin in here for popping blisters and cleaning dirt out of small areas. So a small kit, and with also polysporin, we have that in here. and Neosporin, or one or the other. You don't need both, just one or the other, along with medical tape. Super important. It's not very big. It's ultralight. Definitely advise having a medical kit.
I should have put my toenail clippers in his.
Yeah. Well, actually, we should add toenail clippers to this kit and a pair of tweezers.
Yeah.
So that they're all just for medical.
That would really round off the kit because you need those things.
Yeah. Anti-itch relief. We never used this.
We didn't need it.
We didn't need
had no pinks.
But how did we know? We didn't know. We didn't know. Also in this kit, sometimes things happen, like diarrhea. And when that happens, you do not want to get stuck in the middle of the woods without something to prevent that. So if you do have it, have an anti-diarrheal. And also, if your stomach becomes upset, which is a precursor to diarrhea, in most cases, having like some sort of Pepto of some kind, an antacid, something that neutralizes that stomach. Another thing that we kept in here also, just in this one box, we also put some other blister packs of an antihistamine for allergic reactions.
We did use that.
We did.
We were both like really like stuffy nose the first night. They may have washed the bedding or something with like cat or dog hair, I don't know. Yeah. But something was making us kind of allergic the first night. But that was it. After that, we were like totally congestion free and beautiful breathing, and it was a nice change from being like in the city and in air conditioning. Yeah,
so the last thing in this bag is Advil. As you know, there's no Advil bottle in here because we used it all.
We smashed it.
Yeah. So we were taking Advil every single morning, every single night for inflammation, for sore muscles and stuff. We totally advise it. Always consult your physician first because we cannot be held,
responsible for your medications.
Exactly. You need to consult your physician on what you should be using or should not be using. For everyone's case is different, right? So that's the medical kit. I also have the rain cover, Rainfly, which we did not use. I have no regrets for carrying this though.
Oh, that was no regret.
Definitely important. The last thing in this front compartment is something very important. Now, they tell you to carry toilet paper with you. Toilet paper is normally about twice the size of this Rainfly. I don't have room to carry that much volume, albeit it's light. It's if it got wet, the whole thing is completely ruined. So what we ended up doing is having wet wipes. These wet wipes were lifesavers. When you're super sweaty and you need to wipe or whatever, toilet paper's not gonna do it for you. Wet wipes will.
Yeah, I had some leftover ones that had zero perfume in them that I had been carrying around for years. They were still wet, so I brought them. And then when we started using those Scott ones, they were stinky and a bit perfumey for me. It would have been nicer to have a bigger pack of the non-perfume ones.
But see what you can find.
Find what you can find.
Yeah, I mean, we're in Colombia when we found these, so it's just what we had.
Yep.
The last compartment is the biggest compartment of this. Now, one thing I like about this bag is that the compartments kind of compartmentalize stuff, making it easy to get to, versus the stuff sack style that Erin had, which is basically a top loader, top down. At least this one, I can unfold it halfway down and get to whatever I need. So first thing, flip-flops. I have these going just vertical inside the pack. The reason why I put them into this packing cube is because the flip-flops do get dirty, and I don't want too much dirt. The dirt's gonna happen. Like you're in the freaking jungle, right?
My bag looked way dirtier than yours.
So I rinsed mine off every single night.
I didn't do that. I'm
So,
dirtbag.
Another thing is flip-flops with like rubberized top straps or whatever you want to call them. My previous pair of flip-flops were Chacos, and they had a cloth strap that would never dry. This
Mine
pair
was leather and never dried.
Yeah.
So my feet were always wet, and with 3 feet, whoa, it was gross.
These all rubber ones were super nice because they dried almost instantly. So that was super, super good. And it's nice to wear flip-flops in the shower because you never know what funky stuff's going on with people's feet with fungus and stuff like that.
Well, especially if you have blisters and open wounds on your feet like I did.
Yeah. So I've got 3 of the same size of packing cubes. These are by Eagle Creek. Links to everything is in the description and also in our Amazon influencer shop. So what I did was I compartmentalized this in a few different ways. Big clothes, medium-sized clothes, smaller-sized clothes. That's just how I logically did it. And then after something was dirty, I had 1 gallon size Ziploc bag that Erin gave me, and I put my dirty clothes in there just like she did. But I wouldn't just put dirty clothes in there. Every single night, I would take them into the shower and I would get it completely wet, wring it out completely 3 times. 3 times is the magic number to get the majority of the stank out, because if you put it just into that Ziploc bag, it is going to stink and ferment and become super nasty, and you're not gonna have an enjoyable life afterwards.
It'll turn into alcohol.
Exactly. So in this particular one, I had big clothes. I had my long sleeve that rolls up, Colombia style, super lightweight, dries super fast, super comfortable to wear.
Very handsome.
Along with my long pants. Like, these are just hiking pants. They're super lightweight. They also dry really fast. And then my camping towel, just like Erin's, but gray in color.
You wore that to bed sometimes, right?
One time. I wore this to bed one time, and it was wonderful because it was a cold night. And yeah, it was nice to wear that. So that was one. And then the next bag, unzip. The next bag, I had 4 pairs of ankle socks. Now, we were on this trek for 4 days. I only brought 4 pairs of socks. So literally day 1, I was wearing 1 pair, so I had 3 pairs packed. So there was never ever more than 3 pairs inside the pack at one time. I probably should have brought 1 more pair of socks, because at night one time it was cold and I didn't really want to use old socks in bed, and
you're not allowed to wear dirty clothes.
Yeah, and I imagine I could have worn a pair of the clean socks for the next day.
Yeah.
But I think all bed stuff, like, have just 1 set of stuff for bed. So I would have had 1 more pair of socks dedicated to bed.
This might sound kind of gross, but the underwear, like, we got back like later in the evening. The underwear that we wore in the evening, well, for me, usually I would just wear the same pair the next day.
So the overnight
underwear. Overnight, like, clean body underwear, I would wear into the next day for the hike. So you're not carrying like 8 pairs of underwear instead of like 5 or 6.
Yeah. Speaking of underwear, I brought 5 pairs of underwear. I wore 1 on day 1, and I wanted to have 1 extra. 1 extra for nighttime, 1 extra for something happened. You know, maybe I fell in a puddle of mud that a donkey walked through while I was taking a crap. Like,
or
humans, or I crapped because I saw a freaking jaguar or something like that. So 5 total pairs for the 4-day trek. That is in that stuff sack or that packing cube right there.
We still haven't washed them.
We actually just repacked all this to show you what we wore. We're waiting for our laundry service to arrive to pick everything up. So all of this is a little bit stinky. Good thing we don't have that feature on this film. Last packing cube, and this concludes everything that's inside this pack. Last one, it has my medium-sized clothes. Now, this pair of shorts I wore the entire time. I think that if I was to do this hike or another hike in a similar condition, I would get some hiking shorts that were quicker drying. These are by Prana. They're super stretchy, super comfortable. These are my most comfortable favorite shorts ever. They did not dry fast. Now, I know that North Face and a few Lululemon also make hiking shorts that are fast drying. So I might even...
Fast dry shorts were fantastic.
They were.
Yeah, I loved my fast dry.
Nice. So I probably would have gotten fast dry shorts that had a zippered pant leg. Yep. That way I can have 2 in 1 sort of thing. But those Prana ones were wonderful. Had my Beep Be Bold t-shirt right there. So that's my tank top. So 1 tank top, I wore that every night. I wore that tank top with this pair of just athletic running shorts. These are super fast dry. They're dry fit, like it says it all. Just a pair of black running shorts. That's all these were because they dry super, super quick. Also had one pair of swim trunks. These are just your average Hurley board shorts sort of thing. Because we were swimming in the river and there was a little waterfall that we were swimming, and that was totally fun. Until, you know, there's a few spots along the journey. I also,
you're not doing any athletic swimming, like you're literally just like taking a rest in the lake.
Yeah.
So don't worry about like having a super athletic bathing suit.
Yeah, it's super. When you're swimming, it's a leisurely experience. It's after your day of hiking, and you're there just to cool off. And we highly recommend bringing one bathing suit to jump in. And I also brought 2 t-shirts. Other than that, I would have brought one more t-shirt because I re-wore one of these t-shirts twice, washed it really good. I say really good. I did the 3-time rinse that I just talked about. But one more t-shirt would have, that would have been perfect. Another problem with my t-shirts is that these are like cotton and they don't dry very quick at all. I would totally switch out these 2 for 3 super fast drying material that were super lightweight, because it's the jungle, it's humid, you're gonna be sweating, and you wanna be able to wring these out so that they feel drier, and that you're not just soaking wet constantly. Even though being soaking wet is a cooling mechanism, there's a nice balance that I think that you could obtain from that. So other than that, that is everything that we had in our packs. The only other thing that I didn't show here is the charger for the Canon 80D battery. I had one charger that I brought, which was about the size of maybe a deck of cards. Other than that—
And 2 batteries.
And 2 batteries, one inside the camera and one backup Canon battery. Every night we recharge the batteries.
Except for the 3rd night when we didn't have juice at the last camp.
Exactly. So that wraps up our bags.
That's it. So I think my biggest takeaway was don't be a diva. You're in the jungle. Nobody else is wearing makeup, so you don't need that kind of stuff. And yeah, just pack as light as possible. It's not a fashion show.
No, it's not.
It is not a fashion show. Everybody's disgusting, and it's actually kind of more fun that way.
Yeah, I think my biggest takeaway, besides packing light, is only pack what you think that you'll need. Look at the time of year that you're going and look at the average temperatures that are gonna be in Santa Marta, Colombia, whenever you're going down the Ciudad, Perdida, Lost City trek, because different seasons require different types of wear. One of the guides was telling us that during rainy season, it is raining so much that it can rain for 10 days straight, non-stop. So in those days, you're probably gonna want a poncho that you carry with you to put over your head and over your pack and everything just to shed water. I wouldn't even put the dry pack on my bag in that case. I would just throw a poncho, like a lightweight poncho.
Yeah, it'd be more lightweight. And like the mud is thick. Like there was mud at some points for us in dry season just because it's so humid and there's waterfalls in spots. So there would be mucky, kind of slippery areas. But good traction in most parts that even look kind of slick. So if you're going during rain season, you definitely are gonna want hiking boots, something that will keep your feet dry. A ton of socks in that case. But look it up. See when you're going. March was great.
Yeah, and any advice that you need, definitely ask in the comments. We're happy to connect with everybody and just give you whatever extra information you might need. But other than that, we totally advise going on the Ciudad Perdida trek. It was so much fun. We weren't even sponsored to video this entire trek, but we've got a 4-part series. If you haven't seen it, check it out on our YouTube channel here. It's that way you kind of have a bird's eye view of what's going on during dry season, so that you can see if it's something that you want to do.
Totally. And going with Expo Tour was amazing. And they took such good care of us, whether it was really good food or just a really good time, and making sure that everybody was okay and together. Someone would always follow us at the back of the pack because we were filming, so we were kind of slow, and I'm kind of slow.
So huge thanks to Miguel and to Maria and to Julia and to Steven and also to Tito the cook. Thank you so much for everything that you helped us with along the journey, and it was so much fun to meet all y'all.
That's right. So if you haven't yet, go ahead, click subscribe and hit that bell so you can be notified every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday that we come out with fresh videos just for you.
And until next time, friends.
Adventure on.
Adventure on.
Hasta luego.
Bye.